Hello. On April the 1st, 2026, office worker Bradley John Sorensen disappeared from his residence in Amencal, Trago. The following message, addressed to an associate of his, Gary Shitfingers, was left on his computer. It reads as follows. Hi, Gary. It would appear you've finally woken up. I don't know if you'll know why I left this message for you. To be honest, I'm not sure which I'd prefer. Either set of implications are far more than I'm equipped to deal with right now. But for the sake of this message, though, I will assume the former. And though I will be addressing you throughout, Gary, this also serves as a warning to those who may come after, who may not know what they're getting into. So to you, this is your last chance to look away. I always said it would happen, didn't I, Gary? That one day in the dead of night, I'd drive up to your place and put an end to your miserable life. And every time you mocked me. Time and time again I said I'd do it. And you said, and I keep telling you, you're more than welcome, but you never come. You just had to push it, didn't you, Gary? Had to put my pride on the line and... Well, none of that matters now, I guess. Fact is, Gary, I have... Over the course of the last 5 months, I've killed you. I'd estimate somewhere over 55 times. And I'm not sure if you remember. At first, well, I don't know where to begin. I'm not a lunatic like you. I never killed anyone before. I started off small. I tried poisoning you. I was there. I saw you drink it. So you can imagine the look on my face when I saw you alive and well the next day. Well, I thought. I am new at this, but perhaps I just got the dosage wrong. Oh, more than likely, maybe being such a degenerate, he's built up quite an immunity. That seems to make sense. So I just upped the dosage and tried again. And again, to no avail. I couldn't figure out what was happening. Had I been ripped off? Missold baking powder or something? But no, that wasn't it. If you even care, by the end of that run, you were consuming enough to kill several blue whales. On contact alone. I'd know. I tried. Just to make sure I wasn't going crazy. But I wish I had. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I met someone during my time out at sea who knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a hitman. We exchanged details, and I signed your death warrant. I told him to be thorough, knowing what I knew, seeing what I'd seen, experiencing what I had. I told him to be thorough, to make sure, as definite as he could be in his line of work. And the day of your certain demise came and went. I'll never forget the shiver in his voice when I told him you were still alive. But I cut his head off, he said. I know. He wasn't bullshitting me. I set up a camera in your house and I have the footage to prove it. Or at least I did. But it inexplicably disappeared. Not the tape, the footage itself. It's just... nothing. But I know what I saw. It wasn't static before I knew what I saw. And only then did I realize that I had no clue what I was up against. Was this why you'd mocked me so many times before in the past? You knew it was impossible, didn't you? Well, I asked him to do it again, and he did. And the last time I saw him, upon his return, covered in blood, he wouldn't tell me exactly how the job went. Only that once again he had fulfilled his end of the bargain. We waited together for nearly an hour, and then with bated breath I called you. And you answered in that same snarky, conniving jeer. You coming or what? I threw my phone onto the ground, shattering it into pieces. I heard the hitman begin to weep beside me. I turned to him. Try something else. There's got to be something. I had plenty of money left over from selling the whale carcasses. I said he could have it all. He'd never have to work again a day in his life, but he refused. I saw the fear in his eyes, the terror. I think he was just as horrified by you as I was, if not more. Imagine that. Guy who kills for a living. Put himself in the most atrocious situations. And you abominable bastard, broke him. It's just one bottle at first, then a 6-pack, then several, then a keg, then 2. And now I'm not even sure of how often I drink or how much. All I remember is those days of anger, rage. I didn't know what to do, but I couldn't let you live. So I sobered up and got to work. I tried everything. Strangling, stabbing, bludgeoning, drowning, burning, crushing. I even dropped a piano on your head once. And every time I was certain you must be dead. Nobody could have survived that. Those things. Nobody human. You've been cut up, squashed, and battered beyond recognition. I bashed your head in until your jellied eyes merged with your pulped brain. Like a strawberry iced slushy. And it didn't matter. The next day I'd call you up and on the end of the line I hear the wet crackle of your lips split open into a smile. You coming? What? I've watched the light die in your eyes more times than I have the setting sun these last few months. Though that's not to say I've slept very much. It's difficult to relax when you've got the stench of your maggot-ridden, rotting intestines piled up in my freezer. I started keeping them like the whales just to prove I'm not crazy, just to prove that this was all real. I remember the tapes, and I thought maybe it was taking my eyes off of it that allowed the footage to disappear. You'd always been interested in this quantum observance shit. Was this why? So I moved my bed to the kitchen, and I slept with one eye open, watching your guts decay, day after day, night after night. With each kill, my stockpile grew larger until eventually I guess I must have packed it so tight that I blew out the compressor or something. I can't get it fixed. How would I explain this? I can't get rid of it, so I just dealt with it. With my fridge busted, I couldn't keep food. I became weaker. I became hungry. The wailing within my own stomach. And then, like Newton and the apple, it occurred to me. I rolled off my bed and onto the floor and crawled towards the open freezer. I took a black, leaky handful of your organs, swarming with flies and wriggling with maggots. Yellow pus oozed. As I bit down, the smell like a backed up sink, and the taste like I felt it slither into my stomach as I swallowed. Every fibre of my being screaming for me to purge. But what of me was flesh, was doomed to endure. Fortunately, or unfortunately, the same could not be said of my mind, as the last vestiges of my sanity took flight. Shame it couldn't stay to see the end. Because I was right. Because your guts didn't return after I'd eaten them. And so I shoveled every last handful of rot down my throat. And with maggots between my teeth and flies on my breath, I smiled. For what I ate stayed eaten, and what was waste stayed waste. Consumption. That was the one method of execution I hadn't tried. So stupid. So simple. So I ate you. I bled you. Slit your throat over the sink like a pig and butchered you. And after 3 days, I'd eaten the lot. Muscles, fat and bones. And I brought your blood to work in a floral flask and steadily sipped it at my leisure. Then, after a few days, I picked up the phone and I rang you, and nothing. I had done it. My My stomach hurt like you wouldn't believe, but I'd done it. I rang you and I rang you, but you didn't answer. When I returned to your house, the only evidence that you'd ever been there was a dried smear of blood on the floor. I knelt down and scratched it off the wood with my fingernails and lapped up those delicious flakes just to be sure and to savor it. Felt as if my prayers had been answered. I'd done it. I thought, let's hear you now, you fucking psychopath! Son of a bitch! Let's hear you mock me now. I did it. I finally did it. Still, my stomach. Oh, my stomach ached. But that will go away after I'd taken a shit. That was easier said than done. I have no idea of knowing how bad it would get. I'd lie awake at night sweating, rolling in pain while my guts growled like a wounded bear. I felt pushed to the brink more than ever, which, given the whole situation, is really saying something. I was about to go to the doctors. I'd just tell them I had a bad takeaway or something, but thankfully, well, at long last, I finally passed your wretched remains. Muscle, skin, bones, and blood, all digested into a loose brown slurry. Like a chocolate-iced slushy. But what I saw when I looked back into the toilet bowl was... I may never use a toilet again. Indeed, I intend not to. As I leant in for a closer look, I saw a shift in the water. A curious shape breaking the surface tension. An air expelled from it. Blowing brown bubbles across the surface. A nose turning towards me. Lips. Eyes, a face. Your face. And I could see your teeth as your lips slightly parted. That same shit-eating grin. And I realized this whole time that it hadn't been my stomach growling. But you. I'm so scared. I couldn't flush. Oh. The hitman is on his way. But he's not coming for you this time. Whenever you crawl out of that toilet bowl, I hope you trip on all the empty bottles of beer, you piece of shit. Oh, wait. Sweet seeds are made of thieves. Who am I to skip a deed? I'll give it to you. That proves a